When I saw the CM drafted up against Weaver's Storm, I just thought this is going to be a terrible game for the Crystal Maiden of Matthew. Just completely proving me wrong. Just so much impact on that Maiden. And well, Infamous, they'll go for the Jug now, so you're going to have that inbuilt spin, which is going to be very effective up against the Puck, ES, and Crystal Maiden for that matter. Very strong position 1 pickup here for Infamous, and for 5ManMidas, you might want to pick up something that goes through the spin to cancel any TPs, but it's hard to see much that's still available to really cancel off anything through the spin. They might have to just ignore it completely.
They don't have anything. A Bane is there, but no space for it. They do go for the PL, which is a really good core into the Jug. Omni Slash, you can't commit it onto the PL as long as you have that doppel out. So it's going to be hard to just lock in, get the damage off, unless you get the chain stuns first and hope to burst him down. That's the only way that matchup now works for the Jug. Of course, you can always go into the Battle Fury build, and in this case, I think Infamous would want to go into that. So you're just buying space out for the Jug. But the Juggernaut piles on with a Witch Doctor really nicely, because you've got the Witch Doctor heal and the Healing Ward to help sustain those pushes. And it's really a well lined up draft for Infamous. Of course, the PL doesn't have too much to worry about as well, since it's a Beastmaster offlane. Not much flexibility in that pick. I mean, you could run it mid, but it doesn't really line up well against a Puck. You don't have to worry about anything like an LC to make that lane or the life of the PL hard. So it should be straightforward enough for 5ManMidas to try to maximize that PL pick here.
Okay. I'm kind of intrigued to see what item pickup the Jug goes for this game. Like, do you bother going for a Maelstrom, or would you rather the Battle Fury this time around? I mean, either way, you do have quite a bit of... It does tend to pay off up against the PL, but which would you prefer? I'm personally leaning more towards the Maelstrom, because it does seem like they're going to want to fight early, especially up against the draft that 5ManMidas does have. You may just want to pick up that Maelstrom and have the ability to just farm, but be able to also fight. And it also deals with the PL illusions quite nicely to boot, but we'll wait till we get into the game and we'll be able to confirm exactly what our Jug wants. 5ManMidas, they get rid of the Leshrac, they get rid of the Ember, just anything that deals with the PL. Infamous.
Limited options now in terms of mid cores that can help you deal with a PL. And that's where those bans from 5ManMidas come in. Of course, Ember and Lesh can kind of just melt the PL in the right circumstances, especially that Ember. So we're going to have to look elsewhere. You could maybe look at something like, say, Magnus to buff up your Jug so you don't have to go into Battle Fury necessarily. You could still go for the Maelstrom, as you mentioned. It gives you some team fight as well, which is something Infamous is kind of lacking in terms of AoE. Their biggest AoE is really Impale from Nyx. You could count Cask, but it's not exactly reliable, especially against a PL now. So the value you get from Cask, because of the PL illusions, goes down a lot. Because you have to get lucky with the bounces now in the middle of a fight. Not going to be reliable for Infamous to deal with.
You do still have the option for a Batrider. Now, we were talking last series about how bad Batrider is now with the nerfs that were received, but it is still a potential pickup they could make, and some teams have still been going for that Batrider in the mid lane. Could be an option.
It would line up fairly well for... I'd say 5ManMidas would actually prefer that. Infamous picking up a Batrider against a PL... It's still not amazing unless, again, you get that first jump in with a blink.
Right.
So it's all reliant on your Beastmaster or your Batrider getting that initiation off. I think for 5ManMidas, if you're looking for something to break that spin TP, Batrider is your only answer here that can slot in. Issue is, again, you're just not going to find as much farm. 50% hit is big. We have still seen Batriders do some work, but it's a lot harder to hit your item timings nowadays. So I'm not entirely sure if 5ManMidas wants to risk it with that pick, but options are really limited here. We're still looking for potentially the offlane. We don't have any idea as to what Infamous wants mid. They go to Pangolier, which is one other way to make it annoying for this Jug to just sit back and farm. A really solid lane combination now for 5ManMidas. Pango plus Earth Spirit is actually pretty potent. You've got a lot of angles to approach that lane, and you're not necessarily worried about Cask as much. If you see it coming in, if you have your swashbuckle, you can just swash out and be safe in that lane.
Okay. Infamous, they have almost 2 minutes of reserve time left, but they're not going to use it. Instead, they'll go for the tiny pickup. Interesting pick to make, but it does allow their draft to just kind of snowball throughout the early to mid game and just make plays while creating space for Leo on the jug. I don't mind it too much. It might force the PL this game around to maybe pick up that Hooded Defiance and maybe go for that kind of itemization just to be able to survive throughout the mid game. Either way though, both drafts seem to be heavily reliant on just kind of grouping up and fighting throughout the mid game. But I'm going to ask you, John. Who has the better draft?
Ooh, a tricky one to call. I think both of them have these spikes they want to meet. I feel like 5ManMidas might have an easier time hitting those spikes. Basically, they just buy space for the PL.
Okay.
So prevent the push from flowing out from the Beastmaster Witch Doctor Jug Heal, and just try to let this PL avoid the pickoffs. There's a lot here from Infamous. They've got the Roar to keep him down if he doesn't have illusions up. They've got the Omni Slash in that case to follow up and Nyx to scout out. And they have this tiny burst damage, which is really good into the mid game, especially if Angel can find, like, say, this blink timing coming out. So that's going to be important for Infamous. But I don't know. I like 5ManMidas' draft more. We just need to see them perform. Again, their DPC performance was unfortunately not the best showing. So we'll see if they can kind of start to show up here in their first match in the BTS Pro Series. It's going to be an important one. Infamous is not going to make it easy. They've got a lineup that is all business, all about those objectives, all about those towers and playing at a fast pace. And if they can get that done, there might not be enough space to get this PL up and running.
Oh, I would agree with you on that, John. We'll have to see how this game number 1 does go between these two teams. I am personally leaning towards the Infamous side of things as well. Not just based on their draft, but of course, again, they are looking to be maybe favorited here in this matchup. Let's just see how it all pans out, though, as there is going to be a very early smoke here from Infamous. Monster in a nice position to break the smoke, however, and of course is going to ping it out straight away, and should be able to skill up Swashbuckle and just get away, and he does. Even baiting out the first Impale before he does Swashbuckle. Well, they could still keep going, but I doubt anyone from 5ManMidas actually kind of goes for the bait or tries to force a fight here. In fact, you already see Esk forcing himself down towards that bot rune spot.
Yeah, and Mariano is all alone, so he's not really going to be able to pull those runes. They are scuffling still in the triangle.
That they are. Should be able to hold that high ground, but they may lose 3 bounty runes here, as they have almost certainly given both bottom ones away. This rotation from Infamous does not end up working out in their favor. It's a 3-for-1 trade for 5ManMidas.
And that's a big start for 5ManMidas, enabling their puck to hit that bottle timing a bit faster, just ferry out some additional region as well to hold this lane. And the puck versus Tiny lane isn't a particularly enjoyable one for our Tiny. You can see Angel already starts with an extra set of tangos, has a rune of protection as well to mitigate that right-click harassment from the puck. So it's already going to be slower in terms of the bottle buildup for Angel, and Esk is just going to try to clear out the waves as best as possible. Of course, Angel can get the same done with his tree, but you need some levels up to really start clearing in the same way that the puck does.
See how Angel does do. It's not an easy matchup for him. Of course, up towards the top lane, you do have A there, along with Leo. They'll be up against Monster on the Pango, and well, speaking of Monster, there goes his courier. Of course, you do also have Ixter there. He's gonna just pull the creep wave away, trying to secure his own level 2 so he can actually do something in this lane. Of course, the Monster, I would assume, would leave him to just farm this wave, but it looks like he is going to take priority as he is still sitting at level 1 himself. It could be a bit of a rough start there for the Earth Spirit, though. At level 1, there's really not much you can do to actually set up any ganks or really do anything in the lane, apart from right-click A like this, but it's not going to lead too much.
Yeah, and at least this is a lot of space out for Leo as well on top of that. So both supports just kind of sacking themselves here to set up their cores. The wave is going to shove in nicely, and Ixter is just going to hold it out. So it comes out in a nice spot right along that tier 1. There's not much Leo can really do to punish. So already a solid lane developing up top. You can see with level 2 up in Monster, he can get the disarm off and make it awkward for Leo to come in and try to right-click down.
Nice little stack there from A. Just having the creep equilibrium going their way is going to be very effective for 5ManMidas in this off lane. Very important stuff to put Leo in an uncomfortable position. But small camp pool is there, and A does manage to get it. Unless that creep dies too early, but it is not. He's going to be able to get the full off. And they probably aren't going to be able to get the large camp pool, especially considering how big this dire wave is. Looks like Leo is still having a decent enough time. And while we're at that, of course, down at the bot lane, John, Lies and Lord Boons up against Michael and Mariano. So far going pretty darn splendidly for our PL. Top of the CS board thus far at 17-3, and they might even find a kill onto Michael, but a nice impale is going to make sure they cannot. Ooh. That is a lot of damage flying out onto this Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, and that forces the salve usage out now from Michael, so he's going to be down a piece of regen. He's not going to be able to say bail out Mariano if he's in a spot of trouble. They do have level 3 on the Beastmaster at the least.
Oh, Boons been caught out here. I don't think there's any way he survives, and he does not. Mariano, the one to take the kill onto the Beastmaster. And it's always very scary to give this kind of bonus gold away to the Beastmaster, as if he gets that quick Necro 3 book, it's going to be very hard to slow them down. But up and towards the top lane, Leo even plans a kill now on the Jug to make matters even worse. However, in the mid lane, Angel is dropping fairly low to Esk. Not going to die quite yet, but he's going to be very careful as the orb is available right now for our puck. And he does go for it, but it's not proven to be enough yet. Angel needs to pray that that 4-minute bounty rune, or rather power rune, is going to be down towards the bot rune spot. However, rolled in, Avalanche is there from Angel and a regen rune. You can't get much luckier than that if you're Angel. Orb is going to be there. Angel just pops the regen rune and walks away. And now the impel is there from Michael into the toss-up. Eggster's going to die. Angel gets a kill, or rather gets some XP for himself as Michael takes the kill. That is one of the most unfortunate things I've seen in the mid lane, John.
Oh, it's always a bit of a dice roll when you're playing mid and you're so reliant on these bottles. It's a tough time. Angel now bounces back into this lane really strong. He was lagging behind in CS, but that kill gave him some much-needed EXP to close that gap. So you're seeing our Tiny hit the same power spikes in terms of level gains, and that's a dangerous point. Although Michael did drop low into the rotation down bot, but they don't have enough to clean him up. And overall, Infamous, 0-3, are feeling really good about themselves now.
Mariano able to take the bounty rune away from Lies, who did go for the doppel. And Lies is still farming very nicely though. Really not being contested whatsoever by this lane. So I think Mariano doesn't really care too much about the CS of the PL. Because he knows how much earlier he's going to be online on this Beastmaster. And his focus is probably just going to be getting that Necro 3 book up ASAP. And then just kind of setting a pace that Lies can't keep up with.
Yeah, they're just making it so that the Beastmaster is going to hit his own spikes really well. I mean, the Necronomicon's basically done. Just waiting for that recipe to fly in. Once you have that, the push you get once you hit level 6 on Mariano is going to be big. Not much Boons can do on the CM to really slow that down at the levels he's at. So they're going to have to watch that timing that Infamous is starting to hit into. And you have to consider the build-up here as well for PL. It's going to be an early Midas rush for Lies, which is not too bad in and of itself. But the timing is going to be key. If he does get pressured any more in this lane, that timing delayed by even a few seconds can offset a lot of gold down the line.
Angel now with an Invis rune, so finding the second power rune for his trouble, and it's going to be straight down towards the bot lane where they're going to try and maybe just focus on Lies. Of course, Boons will be a very easy kill if they do break the gap, but they want the PL. As I say that though, Angel has already backed off back towards the mid lane. He just wants to secure some more farmer levels for himself. Doesn't want to be too hasty with the rotations. Gotta take care of that siege creep as well from the Radiant side.
Yeah, although S down bot.
Yeah, there's your Puck Dream Core being committed, and S does set up a nice kill there. Boone's the one to take it on the CM, and now Michael. He's going to try and run. Spike Carapace, Impale is going to be on target, bump the Crystal Nova. He's going to slow him up, and S wants to keep going with the Orb. The Orb is not going to connect, but the Frostbite will do so. The Angel is going to TP now, and that should be a dead CM. Boones will turn around for the ball, and just accept the fact that he is going to die.
It's a lot of rotations forced out from Infamous to find that kill. They drag their tiny mid, they drag both of their supports down bot now as well. You've got A around here, so it's time to commit for the push, and Lai should get the heck out of here.
Oh, Impale is nice with the Primal Roar out from Mariano, and that'll be another kill. Looks like Lias thought he was safe as A actually maledicted all the illusions that were farming the large camp. So maybe he thought they'd been tricked. But A knew as soon as the Melodic didn't really pop on anyone, he knew there was a problem. And Mariano was still able to find the Roar.
Yeah, it's not the situation you want for the PL. Now the push is going to come out from Mariano. He has his Necronomicon here. They can get a good shove in. They are TPing in force to stop this, so Lies comes back in.
Esk might be dead. He pops the Dream Core, but they want to break the leash? No. Spike Carapace not lasting long enough for Michael. Esk will be able to barely survive. They did force Monster TP into the mid lane where he doesn't really want to be. Looking back down bot though, Michael rotating back in. Will go onto Lies? No. He'll go after Boones instead, and they'll go for the easy kill onto that Crystal Maiden. It is going to be a fairly easy one at that, as there's no way he survives.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They are slowly setting up to go after that bottom tier 1.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, they're applying a lot of pressure and buying out a lot of space for Leo. He's been left alone to free farm top. Our Jug now top in the last hit board, saving up for the Yasha, so he's going for a very aggressive Jug build-up, and there's really nothing to stop him. Now the TP comes in from Esk to stop the farm, but Leo's just going to dip back into the jungle with not a care in the world.
What's the idea here? You're going to go into Yasha straight into Manta? Like, you don't really have a way of dealing with the PL illusions as this Jug if you do go for that kind of itemization.
Yeah, it's not the best deal with the PL. I don't think you want a fast Manta this game, though, unless you're that worried about the Puck Silence and the Earth Spirit. Maybe Yasha into Maelstrom is one way to get about it. Good right-click stats up, and you can start farm faster.
Lies. Oh, Impale not going to be on the right target. Lies does manage to juke them out. They're still going, but that is definitely the wrong target. Lies is going to be thanking his lucky stars he survived that one. He barely saw the Tiny for a split second and just managed to get the topple off. Speaking of itemization, Lies is going for a Midas pickup.
Yeah, he's been queuing that up since the start of the game, and the timing's a bit slower than I expected. I thought he'd have it by maybe the 8-minute mark. He died once. His lane's been heavily contested, so slower build up into the Midas, which means you're not matching the Jug's pace as well. At the same time, this could help Lies recover, hit his own spikes. He just wants the Diffusal to be able to show up. And for the most part, Infamous, they've been committing down bot a lot. They've got Leo now, so this should be the tower to take. But it's been a long time coming, and this push has been stalled out a lot longer than you'd expect with Beastmaster.
Yeah, we'll get it eventually. They are going to try and slowly force in that top tier 1 with the siege creep, but it is only Esk around. He's going to have to watch his mid tier 1 tower as well, as with this Beastmaster, with the Necro 2 up, especially if he has the Necro 3 up soon, they are going to try and make the play towards that mid tier 1. So time is of the essence here for 5ManMidas. Looks like nobody's going to really be around to try and defend the top tier 1 from the Dire side. So they are at least going to be able to trade evenly for now. I say that though, Mariano, he doesn't wait for the Necro 3. He's gone straight into that mid tier 1 with the siege creep available. That'll be the tier 1 tower going down. And Michael, yeah, he scouted all this out.
So much information. Sentry just a bit too late from Boones, and they can't even come for the defense.
Neo going to go onto Boones, just trying to go for the easy CM pickup. Is Not going to be able to get it quite yet. Now the silence comes out into the Dream Call and the Roar, but they have killed off Boons, and now it's into Monster. He'll get bursted down with the Omni, and Eggstar, he's not looking too healthy either. He's going to die. A may go down for their trouble with the Magnetize, but no. The Healing Ward is going to be enough. Everybody survives from Infamous. And they got that T1 mid anyway. So they're sitting very, very happy. In fact,
That they are.
Impale is there onto Esk. He just committed that orb. Toss in from Angel onto Leo into the spin. Esk is going to try and orb away. Spike Carapace will not last long enough. Leo understands he can't kill off the puck any further. Just leave him be.
To their top tower.
Yeah, it's still a massive start from now for Infamous. 1-9, 3K lead. Leo is going Yasha into Maelstrom, which I like to see because I'm right. Gonna help out with EPL a lot. And his farming pace now is just so hard to match. Like, at the least, Lies does have his Midas, so he's not gonna lag too far behind. But he has to wait for that defusal. He has to wait for his Yasha for the PL to be a factor, and Infamous is not going to give him that space. They're just constantly scouting out. You have to worry about Hawks, you have to worry about Nyx. There's just so much on the map that makes it hard to get control, and with Necronomicon level 3 as well, I mean, your wards are not going to survive anyway. So there's just so much denial Infamous can do on the map now.
You sounded very proud of yourself, John, that you were correct on that itemization. I'll just have you know that once you get married, you can forget about being right, ever. You'll never be right again.
Thank God I'm not getting married anytime soon, Mike.
We'll see, John. You never know.
Mid?
Lies. Oh, mid. Monster. Death Ward. It's going to be enough. Angel will just toss a tree and get the kill for himself. A 3k net worth lead now for Infamous. It's 1-10 in terms of kill score. And, well, Mariano, he has the Roar up, so you can definitely go for another kill. They might just settle for the easy Earth Spirit kill, assuming they can break the gap for the Roar. But Eggstar, he's well aware that they are around the area, so he will just roll away in TP.
Yeah, it's a safe call. I mean, it wouldn't have been the biggest pickoff as well for Infamous. What they do have to do now, I think, is keep pressuring tier 2s. There's still some space coming out here for Lies. Still keeping up with farm compared to Mariano and Leo. So, you know, the PL's still almost hitting that spike. You do want to play with his really fast Blink and Angel. Right, he reveals it mid in a big way. He wants to keep running and gunning with the Blink combination up. He's got his spells maxed out, tossing Avalanche ready to go to burst people down. They just need to play around that spike. And since they've got Roar and Omni Slash ready to go, they can set up for an easy pushdown bot as well.
Certainly so. Love to see the Mariano Beastmaster clearing out the trees, making sure nobody's behind, and Michael even scouting out a monster. There is a monster behind him. He's going to get stunned up. No roll yet. We'll try to swashbuckle away, but now the Avalanche toss is there from Angel. Just to make sure. That'll be your tier 2 bottom tower going down very, very quickly. Big lift, but I don't think it's going to help. There's a creep wave coming.
Dire's top tower
No.
is
A bit too
Yes.
preemptive and
Oh boy. Angel just all over the map, finding a double kill on the Tiny. That's your mid puck going down. That's a pretty darn big deal here for Infamous.
yeah, I mean, 1-12 for Infamous, just domineering already. 4K lead still up. They're really banking on Lies to just get out of control in the PL. The defusal is just about done. I think he's just waiting for one more part to fly in, and then the PL can maybe fight. But look at this Infamous. They just smoke up. They know they still have their spells on hand to find these kills, and they're just confident they can burst any hero down.
Certainly, and they have the high ground now as the smoke will break, but Monster did spot them out. They'll go for the roll back onto Angel. They have the Magnetize as well, but the Roar is going to be committed by Mariano. Still, Monster is happily rolling around back onto A, and they'll kill the Witch Doctor now. It's going to be a nice kind of counter initiation out from 5ManMidas. But Angel, he's still around, and now Leo is willing to join. Onto Lies they go. The Doppel is going to be there. However, Monster has died to the Avalanche toss of Angel. Now the Omni's out. Onto Lies, and he's taking all the damage. Oh, he gets unlucky. And Boons also will go down to Leo. Leo Obviously a bit of a gambling man. John does gamble, and this time around he wins. Meanwhile, Angel ends up fighting Aikster just on the tail end of that team fight. And they are straight into the Roshan pit.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop this. Just too much damage coming through now from the side of Infamous. There's no Dream Coil for you to jump in there. No Rolling Thunder as well for a few more seconds. It's going to be a nice rush for Infamous to pick up, and they're really playing with their power spikes well. Like the PL, he felt confident with the defusal up, but just the defusal alone's not going to be enough. The SNY has to fly in as well, and that's just more farm Lies needs to find for himself on an ever-shrinking map.
Certainly. He's just got to find more space and more time. It's really up to his team to buy him that space and time, though. It's not really up to the PL. All about avoiding the enemy here when you are this far behind. Leo, of course, is going to happily take the top tier 1 tower on his own. No creep wave necessary for that one. With this Aegis.
I love this build-up. Like he's going for the Manta into the Butterfly, and once you get that Butterfly, what the PL illusions do nothing to you for the most part. They're just going to tickle, and it's just such a great spike for the Jug in terms of dealing with that PL. And we talked about the matchup, but so far Leo, it's a non-factor right now. Lice is just simply a non-factor. He does not do enough with the items he has, and the thing is, he's only about 200 gold behind that Jug, which is not a significant amount. It's just the PL takes so much more to really cook up.
Leo just soloing the tier 2 top tower right now, just tanking the whole amount of tower damage, as he does have the healing ward, and there's a salve out now from A as well. Love how powerful healing ward is. Who needs a support when you can just do it your damn self, says Leo on the Jug. No, that'll be the tier 2 tower going down now.
Oh, Angel.
Yeah, meanwhile, Angel takes out Boons, and now Aikster going to be in danger. Is going to roll away, and there's your Dream Call out. Magnetize will be refreshed. It's just not really doing any damage, though. It's still level 1, so it really does nothing. And the net worth lead just continues to increase now. Infamous 6k net worth lead. It's a tough time.
Yeah, and they're gonna eye the high ground soon. They've got a blink up on their Nyx now as well. Michael can just get himself in a very good spot to get his stuns off. There's a bit of a shove coming in from 5ManMidas bot. They're trying to maybe set up for that tier 1, but it's just not a worthwhile tower to take, considering how much else you've lost in the map.
He's going to be alright. Bot lane, looks like they have initiated onto the Beastmaster. He is fairly tanky, however, but looks like he won't be tanky enough. Mariano actually commits the Roar onto the puck. Angel was not there in time for the Avalanche. It is juked out with the phase shift, and now Angel may be punished, but here comes Leo with the Omni. He kills off one. They're still chasing down this puck. Meanwhile, Boons, he kills off Michael. That'll be enough. Very messy kind of engagement down at that bot lane, but it does still end up favoring the side of 5ManMidas.
Yeah, big kill, although Angel? Nah, not gonna be able to kill off Lies. Would have been a big one if he actually found that PL, but looks like he didn't want to overcommit. Still, losing your Beastmaster does set you back. That's a lot of good gold coming out here onto Esk. The puck did need a pick-me-up, having to go for 3 nulls with the travels and the blink. Really bare bones on the puck so far. They're gonna need to still keep stalling out. They're gonna eye that mid-tier 1 now. They still have Aegis.
Angel just blinking straight into the high ground, deleting Lord Boons, then taking the creep away that the puck was TPing on.
Boy. I mean, now you don't have the puck for like the half a minute for that TP, and just opens up that shove on the tier 2. They're not going to commit for the high ground yet. I think Aegis is expiring in about a minute.
Esk.
Anyway.
Esk is in trouble, John. He got stunned by that Spike Carapace, now going for the blink away in the tree line, but
Ward.
Michael, a nice Tinker Ward placed down. Esk is, I believe, barely under vision right now. Yeah, Angel knows exactly where he is. He's going to die. Meanwhile, 5ManMidas, or at least the rest of them,
Top tower is under attack.
will start rotating. They are aware the smoke occurred. Aikster roared up, gets stunned up immediately by Mariano and just bursted down on this Earth Spirit, or maybe not. He gets a 4-staff away. Now the roll in. They still manage to kill him off though. Burns trying to TP out is not going to make it either. Angel has the toss and does get him killed off. And Monster, he's still on the run. Michael just going to chase him down as Monster trying to go for a bit of farming while he has a chance. Does get himself a nice large cap. And Michael's just going to torture him now.
Yeah. Oh.
Just never impale. He can't TP. In fact, he doesn't even have a TP. So Michael's just going to keep him busy while the bot Rax is going down. Esk dies to Angel once again. He will buy it back. They're going to try and fight this one out as Angel does finally die. And they may force them back. Meanwhile, Michael is still chasing Monster. Towards the bot lane though, Omni is committed. Eggstar maybe regretting that Omni, or rather 4-star. Leo going to try and TP out. Is going to make it out. So they do lose A, they lose Angel, and that's going to mean more time for Lies to be able to farm up on this PL. They didn't lose that bot Rax either, John. It's just a tier 3 tower going down.
I mean, Rax exposed is a dangerous point when you're up against Beastmaster, but all things considered, I think that went out fairly well for 5ManMidas. That greedy play by Monster to farm out the camp secured him his blink. And even if he didn't join in, just having the blink ready to go means in the next fight, Monster's going to be able to just roll blink in and get the position he wants, get the control his team needs. And Infamous have to be ready for that. They aren't really equipped just yet to deal with all of that control. No early BKBs up, although there is a BKB being saved up for here on Angel. Not quite there yet. So there's going to be a massive window here for 5ManMidas to play around with these 2 blinks they have on hand. And Infamous has to kind of respect that sudden burst in power that 5ManMidas does pick up here.
Yes. Nice TP out in the corner of the map. Michael going to have a quick look through that tree line, but is not going to find anything. Leo getting closer and closer to at least being able to pick up that eagle song for his butterfly. But Lies is still farming up quite nicely, John. Top of the net worth board on that PO. Once you have that heart up, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to get through his HP pool. Of course, the new and improved heart is a lot more powerful than it used to be. Still?
Oh, yes. It's getting complicated. I think you're seeing some damage issues for Leo right now. He still needs a butterfly to be finished up for him to start pumping out some of that damage back in. And then he's very kind of withheld by Omni Slash. So the timing of Omni Slash is now being an issue for Leo's uptime, which means we might see the Ags have to fly in earlier rather than later here for the Jug. All things considered, 5ManMidas, I mean, they're 6k behind, sure, 7-23, yeah. But your PL is actually off to a really good run now. And if he's not being contested, you still don't have natural answers beyond just getting the right catch off with blink jumps. And so far, it's not been lining up for Infamous in past few fights.
Smoke up again.
Precious bounty.
BKB now coming out onto Angel. Up towards that top lane they go, or maybe not. They found Lies before that, but Lies is going to survive. Angel, is he going to realize it's the real PL there? It looks like he did not, and Lies is going to be able to TP out in time. Angel, however, will still be able to find Eggstar. Does get the Earth Spirit kill, but it's not really what they wanted. And meanwhile, they found the Beastmaster down towards that bot lane. Mariano, all by himself, he'll commit the roar in the end, but it is not going to help his cause. He'll die. Looks like he got the range barracks on his own, but that's about all he got.
It's not the best objective to throw your life away for. There is the Roche respawn now, though. So that's going to be the big one to fight over for both sides. You saw the lines drawn out there from Boons, saying they need to secure that Roche. Very heads-up play from him, knowing it should be up. And Infamous, they could still look to take this fast. They've got the double damage on Leo. They've got the Butterfly here as well. He's saving up for his Mjolnir next on the Jug. So he is starting to build into the damage. The next thing he needs to fix is the downtime of Omni Slash. And we'll see if he opts for that Ags sooner rather than later, as 5ManMidas are still working this map well. They're still limited without having outer towers, but the farm still pouring in. Lies is number 1 in net worth. 1k, about 500 gold above the jug. So the Midas has really paid off for Lies. And the Heart is just 200 gold away for the recipe. And that tankiness on the PL, it's going to be a bit of a problem for Infamous going into the next few fights.
Michael looking for an initiation here. Roshan still occurring. Infamous just making sure that 5ManMidas have no way into this Roshan pit, and they do not. Leo will take the Aegis. Cheese will go to Mariano. Heart is now up on Lies, however, so he's sitting at 3k HP. Got a hell of a lot of regen now. Is it going to be enough, though, as the high ground push is coming in? If he gets caught out and left alone, he probably will just drop quite quickly regardless of the Heart. Don't forget, Leo does have that butterfly up, so these illusions are really doing nothing. Nice little salve up. The illusions aren't going to cancel that off. Does have the healing ward though. While this is happening, Esk is just farming up, trying to get his Aghanim Scepter. And he does have enough for it now. In fact, he's getting tier 3 items as well. So hoping that his team can hold them back, and now he does have the Ags, and he has TP back towards the base. They can try for this big team fight. But you already lost the melee barracks. Are they going to initiate? Well, there's your rolling, but the immediate impel is there. Now the Avalanche toss is out, so Eggster is gone, but he'll buy it back. Still, Leo looking pretty darn healthy, even with the Aegis. He's going to be able to spin and go back onto Monster. They do at least kill off the Witch Doctor A. But that's pretty much it. And they still have the Aegis, so Leo is waiting to see if they can counter-initiate with the Omni. They are going to play it safe and back off.
I think right now Leo wants to finish up that Mjolnir first. So it looks like he just wants to dip back in, wait for the Witch Doctor to respawn, get the farm up in that downtime. And then once you've got this Mjolnir, you can easily commit for that fight with the Omni Slash. It's going to be so much damage flying through. You can just pop the active onto something like your Tiny as well to protect him. And suddenly the illusion spam hitting a single hero is not going to be as effective. And that is rather nice way of dealing with that illusion spam from PL. You can see the hesitation here from Lies, right? Like, he's got the Heart. He knows that if he missteps, it's going to be really easy to punish. And that does mean that he's really picking these fights carefully. They're still down a couple of racks, though. That gives Infamous a nice advantage in terms of keeping these lanes shoved out. But there is the Ag Shard on Lies. So there's a bit of a bounce on that Spirit Lance, and the illusions do a little bit more damage as well once they fly out.
It's going to be a big team fight about to break out in the Radiant Triangle, but they are in division. Leo, he's been caught out. They can burst down his first life, it'd be really nice, but the Roar is going to come straight out onto the Pango. Monster is still going to be alive as he does try and swashbuckle away, but Angel is going to jump right back in with the Avalanche Toss, trying to burst him down. It does get him. They got Michael in return. Now Monster to buy back. Death Ward out from A, taking down Lord Boons almost, but he does walk away. Now the buyback out from Michael as well. So A is going to die on the Witch Doctor. Leo is going to TP up. He's left Angel behind, however. Does BKB up, and he's going to go for a TP of his own. And it looks like nothing is going to cancel. So 2 buybacks being committed on either side. They could try and reinitiate here with Michael, but it's very dangerous. He does not have buyback. Lies still juking them out with these illusions. They don't know which one the real one is. Mariano is still being chased down, and they're still attacking an illusion. Now Lies will reveal himself back onto Angel, but Leo is there to try and help him out. Angel, who might just turn back around with the Avalanche. Still, a lot of damage is being dished out with the Rolling Thunder to come in from Monster, and they will kill off the Tiny. Leo sitting there very low, but he gets the Omni Slash off in time, and it's going to be a lot of damage out. Monster does die for a second time. Lies is somehow still alive, but does eventually die as well. And of course, Boons is going to be there as the CM going down. I've got to tell you, John, Lies has some very, very deceptive PL gameplay. But it isn't going to pan out their way.
No, it's not enough to base your entire game plan on just fooling the enemy with illusions. It worked a couple of times. You are seeing that the huge damage out from Leo be a big factor now. There is a window here where they can fight, though, and they buy back. Knowing Omni Slash is down, Leo could be exposed here.
Certainly could be, but he gets the range barracks the melee barracks anyway. Should be just fine to get himself out.
It's an interesting build here from Lies Mike. You take a look at this PL, he's going for Aether Lens. So he just wants to be able to cast Spirit Lance from a mile away with his Ag Shard as well, which is an interesting approach. I've never seen that. I don't think.
Other advice.
So-
What are we missing? We're missing something here.
It builds into the Octarine, I guess, so he can. It's not a dead item slot.
Right.
But Octarine PL as well. It's I don't know, lower cooldown Doppelganger, I guess, with the talent in 25.
I think that might be the idea. Yeah, just have a doppelganger timing that. With such a low cooldown, how do you kill him? I think is the idea here for Lies. Especially with the Heart of Tarascom, right? Because you can kind of just keep healing throughout the team fight by continuously just doppelgangering over and over again. I mean, I'm not saying I agree with the item pickup, but I'm not going to disagree either. I haven't seen this in a while, so see how it works out if Lies can get there.
Yeah, they do smoke up as well. They want to sort of play around now. It's a bit late as the Omni Slash is going to be up in a bit, and there's no real Roche to take, so they're just going to take control of the triangle on a bit of a warding run. Should give them easier access to contest the next Roche as it does come up. And you do have to watch out. Infamous have gotten some space out to farm up. There's a Shivas now on Angel, and it's Infamous's turn to smoke up.
Absolutely. That Shiv is definitely going to help, especially up against all that heart regen. Hawk going to give nice vision here. He is going to be scouted out, which may give away the smoke. Monster, he's sticking around here. Axton needs to be careful as well. A going to reveal himself now, but the 4-star force there still. Angel is able to land the avalanche in time. Now the Dream Call is there from the puck, just holding them all down. They do manage to save everybody on 5ManMidas. Infamous just going to back off and control this triangle. I think the game plan may be to just wait out the next Aegis. There's no real reason to risk losing this game if you're Infamous. You are still quite ahead, but one bad team fight could turn it back all the way to 5ManMidas if you're not too careful.
Yeah, and they're paying respect to the power of 5ManMidas to get that turnabout. There's just biding their time, not giving any openings out to the side of Radiant, and they're just keeping that stalled build-up. We'll see how long the rush is in about half a minute. So at that point, if they're lucky, it's a fast respawn, and they can immediately set up for the high ground. Maybe get lucky with a refresh shard as well for double roar. That could be a big way for Infamous to break open that nut as well in the last lane on mid. But they're not too unhappy just getting this farm up. Like the Scotty's being built up here by Leo. Still a ways off in terms of gold. So just having this downtime right now to build up is going to allow him to ramp into that pickup. And once the Scotty's in play, heart regen's not going to be a factor.
And that's a fast Roshan, John.
Wow, jeez. I didn't expect it to actually be that fast.
They held the DD rune there as well, just for a full minute or so, just waiting to see what that when the Roshan was going to be up. Patience does pay off. This is going to be a very, very fast Roshan with Leo around. There's just no time to contest if you're 5ManMidas. They're trying to make it there in time, but it's already over. Refresh, going to go to Mariano. Cheese still on the deck.
Oh boy. Double roar. That's going to be hard to fight into now for 5ManMidas. You've got to watch your angles. You're still staying around here.
Oh, Dream Coil there with the Rolling Thunder, trying to kill off Michael and the Nyx Assassin. Might just die, but a nice roar out from Mariano, just holding down the Pangolier. So the Aeon Disc does now proc, but the Omni Slash going to be massive here. Oh, they are going to get ripped apart from Leo. They found another in the form of Monster. It's going to be a 3v4 situation. Into an Aegis as well, so you can almost say 5v3. I think this should be a very easy Mega Creeps. Up for Infamous.
just no options to defend. You don't have the Dream Coil, you don't have buybacks in these two heroes. The PL just can't do enough by himself, and that's going to be Mega Creeps at the least. They do have Fortify to stall, but it doesn't matter much when you've got Aegis and G still running.
Absolutely not. Leo is out of mana, but he will not care. It's all about the auto attacks right now. They frostbite him up. They're trying to buy more time, but Leo will at least get the Megas. He is going to lose the Aegis. They've got to make their play now. If you are 5ManMidas, they're going to try, but the BKB was there from the Tiny. They'll lock both down with the Dream Call out. Esk is going to move in with Monster. Rolling Thunder is there onto Leo. He's going to try and go for a run. He might need to just try and fight this one out, but he is completely surrounded, and they will at least kill off the puck. Excuse me, rather the Chug.
Ooh,
but
that's a big one.
You're up against Megas though, right? You're regardless if you kill the Jug off or not, it's still pretty tough.
It's difficult. Your supports don't clear out these waves that well. Earth Spirit and CM just don't handle Mega Creeps well enough. The Pango and the Puck do. There is that, but losing your item like this as well is a big hit. Like, that's a Demon Edge gone now from Lies. He's trying to go for the MKB to hit that Chug a lot better. So he actually did finish the Aether Lens as well, by the way. So Aether Lens PL into the Octarine, although.
Another Aeon Disc proc there for Monster. Angel, try and run. Dream Call setup is out from Esk, and they're trying to kill off Michael, but the Raw is there onto the puck now. They want to try and turn this one back around, and they do find Esk. Burns, he's got no way out of this one. Just gets tossed up and gets annihilated there by Angel and 8. They've got the buyback on Esk. They can have the puck available for another team fight. Dream Call, however, is going to be on CD for another 30 seconds. In Infamous, well, they're not going to try and force it anyway. They are still waiting for Leo to respawn up. Roll, however, Angel is in by himself. He's going to BKB and just try to walk out. And in fact, he'll go for the TP play and is going to make it.
I mean, they're still holding here, 5ManMidas. Infamous now, they've got all the heroes up. They could easily just look for high ground push if they want to. The Radiance is going to be up here for Angel as well, and just about 200 gold. And once you've got that up, Blinks are not going to be easy to pull off for any of these heroes on the side of 5ManMidas. Good timing as well into the tier 4s. Spell Prism up. That's going to be lovely to get that cooldown reduction going. You don't have the space here for 5ManMidas to get their own items up. They're trying to clear out, but they don't have access to the jungle, and that's going to set them back by a huge amount. You see this leveler on for your Jug. You know, he just switches into it in the push. That just makes it so hard. Even going into the Omni, you can just opt for it for that added attack speed to really max out the slashes he gets. And that's going to be a bit painful. You do have the Octarine up on Lies, so no level 25 means that this isn't the best value yet. If he had 25, that would be much lower. Right now, it's still a 7.5 cooldown in the Doppel. So, need those levels up on Lies to really maximize this Octarine.
Certainly. 5ManMidas. All you can do is just keep holding the base and buying more time for your PL. Love the fact that Angel's just got a Radiance on the Tiny. Why the hell not? Make it even harder for this Phantom Lancer. Do we bother waiting for the next Roshan if you're Infamous, or do you just go for the Hail Mary play into the Ancient?
I think the safe play is always to wait for Rosh, but they've got enough to maybe just jump in. I think they'd want to pick off first before going into the high ground, before heavily committing without Aegis. They do have control on the map. Like, they're still denying this progression on neutral items. They're denying any sort of farm to come in. So even if they don't push, they're winning out by attrition. And they've got all the tools on hand to make that choice. Looks like they will just play it safe. I mean, you've still got room to grow on Leo. Saving up for Abyssal. That should simplify the process in getting the Omni/kills off. And Rosh is about 2 minutes off until we see the respawn. So looks like they just want to play patiently. This is enough time for Lies to also have his MKB up, which does negate some of that durability on Leo, so you do have to watch how much time you give out to something like the PL.
There's your Aghanim Scepter now as well on A. Well, very nice for him. Like you said, Lies, MKB up. Maybe hitting a lot harder and may not have so many issues now with the evasion that was coming up from Infamous. We'll continue to hold this high ground. Even the Vladimir's coming out from Monster to make all those illusions just a little bit tankier. Infamous, just no rush. I believe we are waiting for that next Roshan to spawn, but it's going to be about a minute till we find out when that next Roshan is going to be. I guess when you control the map like this and you just keep growing the net worth, it doesn't really matter how long you have to wait. There's just so much room to grow on this jug.
Yeah, you don't have to... You're not really losing out on anything by doing this. Like, magic creeps are worth way less. We're still not seeing the full tier 3 items even for 5ManMidas. So there's just no progression on these neutrals. They're just completely shut out from taking any control on the map. You do have to admire what Angel has on hand as well. He's using that Spell Prism. I'd say if you want slower cooldowns, Octarine is not the way to go. Go for Arcane Blink. It might be a bit more expensive. No. Octarine's definitely much more expensive naked here for our Tiny. I'd say go for an Arcane Blink if you really want lower cooldowns here, Angel. It's very nice value, very nice times for those Blink upgrades, you know?
You reckon they're going to buff Overwhelming Blink? I feel like it's just so bad. Yeah, the Strength Blink.
It's a strange one. The only hero I really enjoyed that on was really Centaur, and Centaur is dead right now.
Yep.
It is in comparison a lot less value. Like the damage is, it's okay. 100% of your strength plus 200, and 50% movement speed slow and attack speed slow. But compared to lower cooldown and like way more right clicks, not the same value. Maybe if it had, say, damage reduction, I think that would maybe break it. I'd say go at the moderate amount, 25% damage or 30% damage reduction on use. That could make it comfier for strength heroes to jump in.
Why not just
I think
give it
that's
status
one way to
resist
balance
jump?
it.
Just give it status
Yeah,
resistance.
status resistance as well will be pretty darn good. Either one, damage reduction or stat resist, would just be it on that blink. But yeah, it's definitely the weakest of the bunch. Sadly, strength heroes need some love.
That they do, John. Very, very tough time for the strength heroes out there. Roshan is up, another early respawn. And of course this Hawk is currently scouting it out, and the pings are eventually going to come out as well. Infamous should really have nothing to be afraid of. Just an easy Roshan play. Of course for Leo, it's going to be quite a fast process, and I suppose for Leo you just wait till you have the full Abyssal now, which you just about have it anyway. And an Ags upgrade to boot. So you got the Swift Slash up now as well. Very, very nice stuff for Infamous.
Yeah, and that fixes his issues with the downtime on Omni, so you don't have to be too scared in coming for these fights. And he's had his Ag Shard up as well, which is an interesting way to deal with PL. Right, like that free auto attack on the Blade Fury is actually pretty darn nice, especially if you just want to proc some Mjolnir or Maelstrom strikes. So 33k lead here for Infamous. And no rush, I guess. They're enjoying this game.
Yeah. Even got the Aghanim Scepter now on the Beastmaster, so Mariano can have the unlimited axes being thrown out.
Look at that. Bounce.
It's very effective up against the PL, of course. It's like, all these units appear to be making my game lag.
As it does.
As it does. I can almost guarantee there's going to be an update straight after this game, just based off how much it's lagging. But
hey, don't jinx it, Mike. Might just happen.
oh, nice stun out on Leo. They got the Dream Coil there as well. Into the silence. They're just trying to burst him down, but now Angel is there, back onto Boons. Still Not taking down Leo. He does survive. It's now double Raw coming out onto Monster, but he's going to survive. The Swift Slash not doing too much, but the Omni is going to take down Lions, but he'll buy it back. The Ancient, however, going to be exposed here. Leo just focusing down that Ancient. Look at the damage output. My goodness. They'll try the Freezing Field, but that's going to be cancelled off by the Tiny. Moons goes down. He'll buy it back, but the Ancient, it just can't be protected. There is just too much around the Ancient. And that'll be game 1 of this best of 2 series going towards Infamous.
Yeah, strong win for Infamous showing up here. 5ManMidas. I mean, on paper, they really weren't the favorite team. They do have Boons here as well, playing on 230 ping. So that could be a factor, but not to take away from what Infamous did. They ran well. Their lanes ended up spectacularly for themselves, and they just got off to that running start their lineup needed. They had all the answers in the world for Lies. There were some really good plays coming out from Lies, but you couldn't bank your entire game and just fooling people with illusions. Just wouldn't hold up for so long. He goes for a really unique build on the PL with the Octarine core. Doesn't quite carry through in the end, and they will have to kind of look back for that game number 2 and kind of sort those issues out if they want to force the draw here.
Well, with that, of course, John, we are going to get into that game 2 draft very, very soon. Should be roughly 10 minutes, but the timer should be somewhat accurate. With that, it is MLP Dota and johnxfire, and we'll see you back after that short break for our last game of the day. We'll see you soon.